heart of a champion. If I get knocked down, I get back up. We go. It's been dark way too long in this place. That bright smile long gone been replaced. From ear to ear I see that fear in your face. Tell me when the last time you felt safe, cause there's some evil people in the streets. Evil at your front door, creeping while you sleep. It's time to raise up, show that evil we ain't weak. We don't turn the other cheek, I can show you how to be strong. Come on, follow me. Heard you looking for a hero. Well, look up. No more running from the bad guy, I'ma stare him in the eye like, what's up? I know the journey got hard for a minute, but I ain't giving this up. Yeah, I got the heart of a champion. If I get knocked down, I get back up. We go.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to Insights of a Survivor. It's me, PJ. Thank you again. I'm a little laggy today, so just work with me. I might kind of freeze up, but I'm still here. But before we get started, I wanted to kind of give you a little warning. I want to acknowledge that today's show will cover a lot of sensitive topics, including domestic violence and trafficking. These conversations are raw and real, but they are necessary and they could lead to triggering. If at any point you need to step away, take a break, pause, please do so. Even if you need to just walk away completely, please do so. Your well being is the priority. If you or someone you know is struggling, resources will be shared at the end of the episode. Okay, so I would like to welcome you all back to another episode of Insights of a Survivor. And again, I'm your host, PJ. And if this is your first time tuning in, welcome, welcome, welcome. This podcast isn't just about stories, it's about survival, resilience, and the power to rise. It's the power to break the silence. It's a place for you to be able to say, life did not break me. Every episode, we dive deep into raw, real experiences of those who faced the worst and still found a way to heal, grow, and thrive. So, I want to take a moment to say thank you. Thank you so much for tuning in. Let's talk about why my platform exists, okay? Why I do what I do. I know firsthand what it means to kind of deal with and carry trauma. I grew up in a home that was that was full of addicts. I had it was alcoholics, but addiction is addiction, and that meant surviving. Survival was kind of navigating anything that can be unpredictable. I could trigger her, she can go off, set off, anything can cause a nuclear explosion in my home. And later in life, I faced my own domestic violence situation. I had my own battles with domestic violence, so I know. And honestly, I didn't even realize being abused by my mom was a form of domestic violence. That's something I'm learning in my healing journey. But I do know what it feels like to be silenced. I know what it feels like to feel like no one sees you, no one wants you, no one cares about you, and to wonder, how am I going to break free from this pain? And if you are listening today and this is you and you feel stuck, I want you to know that you're not alone. There's always a way to move forward, even if you don't see it yet. And that's why I started Insights of a Survivor, to be the voice I needed when I was struggling. I needed someone to tell me that I wasn't alone. I want this space to be one of truth, healing, and empowerment. And today's episode is one of the most important conversations we'll have, because we'll be talking about survival in its rawest form. Survival from domestic violence and sex trafficking. My guest today is someone whose voice demands to be heard. She is someone who I met when I was actually on her podcast, Open Letters to a Survivor, every Sundays at, I believe it's 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. She can give you a little bit more details about the exact time, but if I'm not mistaken, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, she interviewed me about my story, and immediately we had a connection. She asked me to partner with her. And so now her podcast is like my sister podcast, and I co-host there sometimes. And she agreed to share her story with us today. She goes by Lady Poet, and her name is not just the title, it's a testament to her strength. She survived some of the most imaginable events. I mean, she told me her story, and I mean, there's not many people that could tell me their story, and I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe you went through that. But she's one of those. She did not let that define her. Instead, she turned her pain into power, using poetry, using her podcast, using her voice as a platform to inspire others to break free from chains that that's holding them. She inspires you. You'll see. She inspires me, even though she doesn't know that. And her words are more than just lines on a page. They're survival, truth, and healing. This conversation is not going to be easy for her, for me, for anyone listening, but we're going to talk about things that society often tries to ignore. How young girls, especially in certain areas, get pulled into trafficking, how domestic violence is often a cycle that's hard to break, and how survivors struggle to rebuild their lives years, decades, even after the abuse is over. But we're also going to talk about hope, healing, and we're going to talk about strength, the strength it takes to rise from the ashes. And I hope that you guys can tune into this episode, even if you don't watch it live, the replay, because she's going to have a lot of, like, I believe she called it nuggets. I call them jewels. She calls them nuggets. Same thing, gold. She has a lot of knowledge to share. But before we jump into that, again, if you have any questions or need any support, my Ask PJ segment is open to you. Send your questions or your thoughts. It's going to be on my link tree that's in my bio, and it will be in the comments. And even share your own stories. Healing happens in the community, and your voice matters here. So just take a deep breath and get comfortable because I am going to bring on Lady Poet right now.
Thank you. Thank you so much for bringing me on today.
Lady Poet, how are you today? You guys, this is
I
one of
am,
our besties.
yes, that's my sister. I tell everybody that's my sister from now on. I am actually fine tonight.
Thank you. I want to say thank you. I know we both, no one sees the nerves that come behind these podcasts, but you see my nerves, I see yours. So I thank you for taking the time to come on to the show and just share a story that because your stories they're gonna
Oh,
see.
you're
So
welcome.
what
Thank
I'm
you
gonna
for
do
having
is say,
me, and
do
we're
you
being
want to?
transparent about it.
So introduce yourself, and then after that we can get started with the questions and go from there. You can introduce yourself. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? I don't know if she can hear me, you guys. I think. Let me see. Let me try this. Can you hear me now? She says I'm frozen. Okay, am I back? Okay, I think that's my internet is acting janky. Let me see. Can you hear me now, Lady Poet? Okay, great. Sorry about that. I told you guys my internet is not the best tonight. This is storming. Costa Rica, Pura Vida, and sometimes when it rains, my internet acts up. Can you still hear me, Lady Poet? Okay, so jump on, introduce yourself, and then we can get started with the questions. But I can't hear you.
Okay, hi, I'm
There we
Lady
go.
Poet Speaks. I am a podcaster for Open Letters to a Survivor podcast. Again, PJ is my sister. We do partner together for our podcast, and we are on Sundays. I'm sorry, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
There we go. There we go. And can you tell us the network that you are on? So they'll know which network to go to see you. Because she's not on my network, you guys, unfortunately. But we'll do. You'll see
We
me
will
on
be.
hers.
We will be. Um, and we are on UG Digital Media Podcasting Network.
Okay. Thank you. So UG Digital Podcasting Network, Open Letters to a Survivor, Sundays, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You guys need to check her out. Um, she is awesome. She has three other women that co-host with her, and I mean we all love each other. You'll feel the love. So check her out. Sundays Eastern Standard Time. Okay. So let's just jump in. You ready for me, Lady Poet?
I'm ready.
Okay, well, can you take us back to your early years? Like, what were some of the signs or moments that led you to the situation that you were in?
Okay, so it started when I was basically 8 years old. So I was sent to live in kinship care. So for those of you who don't know what kinship care is, it's being placed in foster care, or as they say, county care, where you're a ward of the state, but you're living with family members. So you're not living with just, you're just not placed into a random home. You're living in a home with family members. And it was the beginning of, I would say, my third to fourth grade year of school, because I was turning 9 years old. So I was still 8. My birthday falls in the middle of the summer. So in that, I was sent to live in that care because my mother, you know, being raised in a home where my mother and father both met in the psych ward, they had their moment. So in that moment, she was sick. My mother's bipolar. My father's schizophrenic. I didn't have any contact with my father, and so with that, they um put me in kinship care with my grandmother. And in that home, my uncle didn't live there. However, he would come over often, and he was the one that started sexually abusing me at the age of 8 years old, going into my ninth grade year. I'm sorry, going into year 9. So being 9 years old. And it actually altered the course of my life. Number one, I already felt like I wasn't wanted because my mother, got sick, and then I was placed out of my home into somewhere where I didn't really necessarily want to be. I wasn't comfortable. And then to go into that situation where feeling like I'm safe, but then my safety ended up being jeopardized by somebody who was supposed to be like a father figure to me. So, and that's how
I
it
do.
started.
Yeah, I get that. I mean, you're so young. You hear this all the time, and it really hurts to hear that someone who had their innocence not only taken from them, but taken from them for someone that they're supposed to trust, who's supposed to protect them. I know that had to be confusing for you, and I'm really grateful that you're sharing that today with us. So, what were some of the hardest moments that you faced, and how did you find the strength to keep going through that time?
So the sexual assault started when I was not, well, I was 8 years old, going on 9. But I started becoming a trafficking victim at the age of 12 years old. So it went from that to it just kept getting worse and worse. And when he would get bored with giving me to a friend or giving me to somebody else, then the trafficking started. And some of the most hardest moments were just being with these people, getting out of school and then having appointments, as he called them, where I couldn't focus on my studies because, I had to go and make sure that I could please somebody so it would be less hard on me. I think one of the hardest moments was, being locked in closets and not being able to eat for days at a time, just because that's what he felt like I deserved. And so it was that. And then also, when you're in that lifestyle, you're living a promiscuous lifestyle because they forcing you into it. But then also losing my baby. So in that lifestyle, I end up getting pregnant with a daughter at the age of 17, and end up losing my daughter. So in losing my daughter, it was one of the most painful experiences. And now that I look back at it to this day, I can actually smile because I'm like, okay, well, if she was here, would she be spunky like me? Would she have a smart mouth like me? Thank you, Lucy. Yeah, I know your story is similar. I can't wait for you to tell yours. But yeah, we love you, Lucy.
That's our
So
sis too.
that's our sister. Yeah, she's part of our team as well. But thank you so much for that. But yeah, so that was some of the hardest moments. And then losing myself, because you not only are dealing with what they did to you, but you're dealing with your own addictions, you're dealing with your own fears and your own problems and your own pain, but you can't really express it because they're living your life and everything for you. So I think that was hard too, to just trying to, how do you find yourself before you even know who you were? I lost myself in a process before
Right.
I even knew who I was. And so that was the hardest moment, is trying to find
Right.
who I really want to be.
Okay. And so, yeah, I mean, losing your child and losing yourself at such a young age, it's hard to come back from that. And I didn't know that part of you. I see the strong version of you. So hearing this story, hearing it again is just it touches me in a different way, you guys, because I know this woman and she's so strong. She's the one that tells me to get my butt up, get your ass up. So to hear her, it just is, you might see me tear up a little bit, but that's okay because this story is helping a lot of us. So don't cry if you see me cry, baby.
I'm going to
Hold it.
cry. I'm a crier
Don't do
anyway. So,
it. That's
right.
okay. We go cry together. So many people don't understand how trafficking happens. Can you share how you were pulled into that world and what it looked like from the
Okay, yeah. So
inside?
from the inside looking out, so the funny thing about it is, I'm 32 years old. I don't mind sharing my age with anybody. And it really took maybe about 3 years ago to somebody actually pinpointing it and saying you were trafficked. When I was able to explain it, I was just saying that it started with him. And then when he got bored and, oh, I need, you got to pay for us taking care of you, it became his friends. That's a form of trafficking. Anytime a person is brought in and you're being sold, that's trafficking. So I didn't realize that. So then his friends would come in, and then from his friends, it was being sold to other people. It was being sold to other people. But in his eyes, it wasn't trafficking because it wasn't random people. It was people that he knew or people he set up meetings with. So technically, they were random people, but he just set up meetings with them. So from the inside, I just tell people, first of all, if something doesn't sit right with you, say something. I was a young girl, and I was going through this, and we were at hotels and different places in the city and other places. So, when you see something that doesn't look right, say something. No matter, you could be wrong, but I'd rather you say something than not, because you could potentially save somebody's life, or you could save another girl like me.
Right. I mean, were there people who tried to help you along the way? And like, if they did, what kind of support? What type of support did you have, or what did you wish you had? What like anything? Did anyone try to help you in any way? And if they did,
Okay,
how?
so my third book is titled Through the Cracks, and it's a memoir because it's when I was younger, I tried to reach out to people, and again, I went through a system that had cracks in it. The foster care system is not a perfect system, and kinship care, I can't blame social workers because they have 40 and 50 and 60 cases at a time sometimes. So I can't blame them, but I can blame the system. So, I tried to reach out because not only was my um uncle doing it, but I was having visits with my father at the same time. And as I stated, my father was schizophrenic. So my uncle was raping me during the week while my father was raping me on the weekends. And so when you go into one place where you don't feel safe and to another place where you don't feel safe, how do you find that safety? So when I told people it was, oh, you're lying, I was already labeled promiscuous. I had a bad temper. So I was already labeled as at risk because, you could say anything and I would fly off the handle. I would go into fits of rages where I would throw chairs and, I was, taking it out on things that I could control myself. Like I became a cutter. I was all of these things because I just wanted somebody to realize that I needed help. When I got older, some of those same people, now there was people who didn't know, and I gotta give them credit for the ones who didn't know, because if they knew, had they known, they would have done something. So But when I got older and I started talking to some of my cousins and who, never let me fail. And when I told them, they didn't let me go through it alone. Yeah, their hands were tied on certain things that they could do, but just being there for me and being support and helping me and keeping me safe and away from him, and things like that. Had they known, again, they would have done something at that moment. I was so alienated and so scared of him, and so in these moments that a lot of times I didn't speak out. But when I did speak out to the school system, and the school labeled me trouble, to friends who their parents labeled me trouble, to even sometimes police and security guards or things like that, and they labeled me trouble. And some of the security guards was labeling me trouble, but at night you were leaving your wives and paying for me. So it's not that they didn't believe me, it was because you participated in what was going on with me. So who do you trust? The ones that's supposed
Yeah,
to help you didn't.
right. And that's what makes
Yeah.
you feel so alone. Makes you feel like you don't have anyone, because I try to reach out for help and no one's going to help me. They want to call me a liar because not that you were angry. You weren't angry. You were responding. You were reacting because you weren't ever taught how to respond. You just knew how to survive. Well, we know all this now because we both
Right.
got the training or everything. But I get that feeling like you were all alone. But I don't feel like you were a mean or angry person. I just felt like you had to fight back because everyone they were going out their way to hurt you. So I'm glad that you found some kind of support. What was your breaking point? Like, what was your turning point? Excuse me, that led you to break free from trafficking and domestic violence? Like, how did you get out of that
So I
situation?
have a group of strong women around me. Not only my sisters, but I have mentors. And I think when somebody really listened to me, and I talk about her all the time, so she gonna laugh if she see this, because she like, okay, don't do this, don't make me cry. But I had an aunt at that time who lived in Virginia, and she had a YouTube video that popped up and talking about China Dow, and it was adult women talking about their experiences of child sexual abuse. I didn't go on that video to listen to the video. I was actually up in the middle of the night, and I was typing out a suicide letter on the computer. And when her video came up, and I was listening to music and all kind of videos and things, trying to, just calm my mind down. If I could get calm enough, then I could do it. I'm not so anxious. I could go ahead and just do this, so I wouldn't be in so much pain anymore. And when she talked to me and I emailed her, and thank God that she was still up doing some work that night, because I wrote her, it was like 1 o'clock in the morning. And before I got done typing at about 1:30, she sent a message back, and we corresponded all night. And the good thing is I'm a little nosy. So if I would have, taken my life that night, then I wouldn't have been able to see what she responded back in the morning. So I was able to just talk to her enough to calm my mind enough to go to sleep. And I said, okay, well, if I get up in the morning, I'll do it tomorrow. Woke up in the morning, the first thing I get was a message from her. And she said, I may not be there to actually physically help you, but right now I'm here for you. And just having somebody that was there for me, kind of made me a little stronger. And then I met a minister at my church who is now like, a spiritual mother to me. And it was actually her that saved me from it. She sent me there to see her in a different state for a while. And then I came back. And then, I went down the wrong path again for a little bit, because, again, I'm rebelling. I'm angry. I'm young. I'm 19 and 20 years old. I don't know what to do. And so I get back, and then she rescues me again, and she puts me into a situation where I was safe for the first time in my life. And I think the first 2 days I got there, I just slept. I slept all day, because for the first time in my life, I could sleep without looking over my shoulders. For the first time in my life, I can actually breathe without having nobody breathing for me, as I used to say, because every move I made, somebody controlled it. Um, and I think it was that. And then, again, letting people take me away from my safety, to having another godmother who was a one of my teachers again, that if she had have known there were things that she would have done, who just, spiritually is the one that's going to pray and the one that has my back in prayer. And then, when I lost my way again and I was in the trafficking, because you got to think it, when you are in an abusive situation, sometimes you don't leave the first time. You can't leave the second time, because even though these things may be dangerous and painful and everything, when you're used to something, you go to what you're used to, because clarity and a peaceful life is too uncertain for me, because I was, raised in so much chaos. I went through so much chaos that it felt like I was going crazy when it was a normal life. And then I started a job where I was in a marriage, and even the marriage was domestic violence. And I was able to speak to her, and she was the one who took every step I took with me at that moment. So, I had these group of strong women who, when I would waver and when I would sway and when I would swing back and forth because I didn't know where I was going, I had them not only holding me up in prayer, but I had them that fussed at me, that was hard on me when I needed it, but also was gentle when I needed it. Because sometimes you don't need tough love, you just need a hug. And sometimes if they didn't even have the words, they would just sit next to me and just let me cry and just let me feel and just let me talk. And to this day, even though I'm still, in different stages of healing, I know that if I need something, I could call one of them and say, okay, listen, I don't need anything right now. I just need you to listen. And they're there. So I think by them just being there, it gave me the strength. When I said that this was the last time, it was the last time. And I was able to go forth and, accomplish a lot of things in my life after I got the confidence to do it.
Nice. So, how did you learn how to trust yourself and others? Because I can imagine, again, you know my story too. So, trusting people is not always going to be something that either one of us can do very easily. So, how did you teach yourself how to trust again, yourself or anyone else for that matter?
So honestly, it's still a process with learning to trust myself again. And learning to trust people. It's an everyday process. But if I tell myself that everybody is not out to harm me, if everybody is not out to do me harm, that there's more good than bad, then I could kind of walk and not feel scared of my own shadow every day. And so it's just constantly that self talk, and that I would say, here's a nugget for you. I always say, change the narrative, because if we can change the narrative on our own self doubts and our own self talk, then we can go into, what our destiny is. And so it's just me telling myself every day, changing the narrative. When I hear that, well, you can't trust this person, I said, well, what if I can? You know, well, you may not be able to go this far, but what if I do? You may not be able to climb this mountain or get over this hurdle, but what if I do? I did it before, I can do it again. So it's me telling myself every day, changing those bad what ifs to, no, what if it's worth it, and what if I make it? So I feel like it's just a change in the narrative, and it's a daily, lifelong process. And I'm not saying it's easy, but it's something that I strive to do to get to where I want to be in my life.
It's all about reframing the way you think. We were programmed to think of ourselves one way. It's gonna take a while for you to
Yeah.
reprogram yourself. I mean, like I said, we gotten really close over these couple of weeks. So you don't have to help me with reframing. You see, everybody see this. They see us smiling and talking about our history, and we're empowered and we're uplifted. But you be on that phone with me when I'm like, I can't do this. Nuh-uh, sis, you better stop now. They don't see the parts of us that has to teach ourselves how to trust ourselves, because it's harder to trust ourselves than
Exactly.
anyone else. So I mean, I get that.
And
I get that. So the reframing is very, very
yes, and like I
important.
always
So
like I
what do
always
you
tell you, like I
oh
always
no, go
tell
ahead.
you, sometimes you could feel like when we're in the process of healing that we can be crushed under the weight of our calling. And so even though we may feel sometimes that the calling is too much, it wouldn't be a calling if it wasn't worth it. So, we go back and forth. So that's my sister, and her down days, and in my down days, we gonna hold each other up. I got a team of not only on Open Letters to a
Yes.
Survivor and Insights of a Survivor, but we got a strong team of women around us, and we lift each other up. We cry with each other. We
Yes.
lift each other up. We'll scream. We'll yell. And don't let one of us, because you know all of us gonna be in it. If one of us get in some trouble, we all gonna be together. Just how sisterhood and bonds
Yes.
are formed, and I love the sisterhood we have. So if y'all are watching, I love you today
Yes.
because of everything that you have been to us. So thank you.
Thank you. I love y'all too. I'm the baby of the group. I'm the new one in the group, but they embrace me so well. I mean, you think that we've been knowing each other for years, honestly, because we got this group chat, the Fierce Five, y'all, even though it's to be
I know I
six,
gotta change the
Amanda.
name. I gotta change the name. I
Change that name because we all fierce and we are on there just sometimes just to say good morning. We're going through something. We uplift each other. Something good happens. We're the ones like, yay, we cheering each other on instead of being upset because one of us accomplished something and we didn't know. We're encouraging other. I mean, I've never actually been in a group this way. So that's what you guys don't know. This is a new experience for me. I've never had women actually encourage my growth and be genuinely happy for me. So I do love y'all. Y'all just
just
don't
don't know.
know. So just don't know. So what do you think society gets wrong about trafficking and domestic violence survivors, and what should they change? Like, what do you they look at us in certain types of ways. What do you think they look at when they see you as a person who has survived trafficking and domestic violence? And then what should they change about the way they think?
So there's a few things that I do want to mention. The first is they think of you as not smart, or they think that, okay, well, you just put yourself in this situation. Again, I was a child when I was put in that situation. I didn't have a choice. This was something that happened to me. If I had to choose any other, I think I could have chose 1,000 different things to do than to be in this lifestyle. We're not dumb. Let me tell you, it was in those moments that they treated me like I was done with the tough love and everything, but I had a 4.0 GPA. So don't mistake, those things as a person not knowing or not being smart because they got caught up in this lifestyle, because that has nothing to do with it. The second thing I want people to realize is that, first of all, you need to be trauma informed, because going through the system with the police sometimes and other people, the way they talk to you can be triggering. The way they do you or treat you can be very triggering, and it can make survivors shut down. One of the biggest things that made me shut down is I went there, I was trying to file the case to finally get some justice. And I got to there and they said, I got to the courthouse, the county courthouse, and I was just told so nonchalant, oh, one of your rape kits was lost, the other was damaged, so there's nothing we can do. Bye. And just left it at that. So now I'm already feeling like, now, I'm putting my life out here to be exposed. And now all of a sudden you lose the little bit of evidence that you did have. I think that scarred me a little bit more than this, parts of the situation at hand. So I think it's a misconception of people thinking you're not smart, or they talking to you like you just chose this lifestyle when you didn't. And don't never say that it could never happen to you, because you don't know what can happen to you, number one. And number two, don't get mad at women for not leaving the first time, because in domestic violence situations, it takes sometimes up to 7 times before a woman can leave. And so, or feel safe enough to leave. So, to whatever they do, just be there for them. Be that supportive. They're not ready to leave. That's fine. Still get them resources. Still be there, because that one time where you think they're not listening, I promise you they are. And they're going to call you and say, I'm ready to leave this lifestyle. Like I said, I had these women that are ministers, are teachers, are, well named women out there, but they never judged me. They never said, okay, well, you out here doing whatever, and I don't care. When you ready, I'm here. Let me walk with you. And because they walked with me, I think that that's why some of, the reasons I'm here now. So I can really just say that I'm grateful for all of that. And we love you too. We love you too.
Those are sisters showing now. Those are sisters. Hold on, I got another one. I got another one.
Oh, thank you.
Hey,
When I
boo
started Open Letters to a Survivor, Kim was actually the first person I told about it and the first person I told my story to. So for her to be on here and she's one of my supporters and my strong friend, I really just appreciate her for being on here. So I love you so much. Thank you for tuning in tonight.
Yes. Both of these women are beautiful women. They are, I mean, their hearts are so big. I still have to feed my Kimmy though. I have to fix her some food. I got you.
Yes, yes, yes. You gotta feed her. As long as you have something
I mean,
good,
we
she's
are a
good,
full
okay?
circle. Lady Poet, so what message would you have for anyone who is struggling or suffering in similar situations and they don't know how to get out? They're ready to get out, they don't know how to get out.
So first of all, there's somebody that's just like you who did it, and if I can do it, you can too. And I do want to leave that I do have resources. We have resources for you. If you need to talk, if you need to just say, I need somebody to just vent to, I need to scream, I need resources. We are here and we love you. We're here to support you. And don't let the world judge you because they will try. So don't let them judge you because you matter, your story matters, and you're going to get through it as long as you have a support system like us that'll keep you up in the process.
Beautiful, beautiful. And how can survivors help each other? Like, I'm a survivor. Like I said, we've been on this journey a little bit longer than others. But if I'm new to this, how can I help someone who's going through something else, and I'm trying to help them get at least I'm out a couple of months. How can I help my other survivor, my fellow survivor, sister or brother? Because men can be survivors
Yes.
too.
So I would tell people, first of all, stop judging everybody. Everybody want to judge something. And so stop judging each other because once you take that judgment away, um, that is going to be the first thing that'll help another survivor. The second is um identify your own triggers because you don't want anyone to talk to you and then you're being triggered too. So being able to identify your own triggers will help because who do you call when you're being triggered because you're just new out of this situation but you still want to help. So you need to identify your triggers and have your own support system. Just like when you're in the road to recovery and you have a sponsor, I still feel like you need to have a mentor, somebody that's there. So even when you're having your down days and trying to help somebody else, then you can still be able to do that and help them because you don't want to be one of those people where hurt people hurt people. So we have to be in our phases of healing in order to help heal somebody else.
Awesome. So, how can our viewers get a hold of Miss Lady Porter, or actually, it's just you go to your channel? Like, I forgot the name of it that fast. The network that you're on. Please don't tell James. I love you, James.
UD,
I love you, James.
U,
I don't remember the name of it.
UG Digital Media and Podcasting, or you can go to Open Letters to a Survivor online to catch our shows. You can also catch them on my channel, Open Letters to a Survivor. It's on my YouTube channel, and we have an email address. So if you need resources, therapy links, you want to get, PJ is actually part of one of the ones who check the emails as well. So you have a whole team of us. Like I said, you can email us at openletterstoasurvivor@gmail.com, and we have links, we have resources, we have anything that you need that may be able to help you on your journey.
Okay, so you're
No,
gonna
I'm
be
not.
mad at me. I, I rushed through this fast on purpose. I know you got a poem. I know you
Oh,
got a
that's
poem.
fine.
I know you got a poem. Come on, bless us with a poem. I rushed. Excuse the motorcycle. I rushed through this on purpose. Usually I wait. I take a whole hour to. Oh, did she get off? Where'd she go? Oh, she'll be back, you guys. Don't worry about it. I rushed off on purpose because I want her. She has some beautiful poems. I have been lucky enough to hear a couple of her poems, and I would like for her to share them with you. So whenever she comes back on, I'm going to put her, I'm putting her email address. Oh, there she goes. So let me put their email. Let me get you back on. There you go. Wait, nope, she jumped and fell. She fell off again. That's okay. She's getting it together, y'all. And when she gets back on, she's going to share a beautiful poem with her. Again, I usually take a little longer to do these episodes. It's usually a full hour, but here we go. We got her back on.
All right, I'm sorry about that. When
No worries. I was trying to make sure I got your Gmail on there. Did I?
yes, she did. Let me give me one moment to pull up a poem, okay?
Okay. No worries. You knew I was gonna ask you to read a poem for me.
Of course.
I'm like, I'm gonna rush through these questions because I need to hear this poetry. Like I said, I've been blessed to hear a few of them. I want to bless this audience. I know you guys want to hear some too, right?
Right.
I'm answering for them. Yes. Come on, lady poet.
Okay, give me one moment. I'm pulling one up now.
Thank you, Miss Kim.
Wait.
It's like suspense the
No,
journal.
I'm sorry. If you,
Take your time. I told you I rushed through that on purpose because I know I knew I was gonna get something, and I'm gonna make sure it's a
a
juicy
juicy.
one, juicy one. I want you to I want to cry. Don't make me
Oh, well,
cry.
just because you said
Don't
that, I
make me cry.
probably will. So, okay.
See this is Lady Poet. She's man. She's helped me out a lot, you guys. I think it's going on 2 months that we've known each
Right.
other. We've only known each other a short while, but like she, I met my kids, my husband, my grandbaby. You know,
Right.
and she's like a part of the family.
Of course. And so, since this one is talking about trafficking in my story, I'm just going to do one
Okay.
of my raw
Okay.
and real poems. Um,
This is where you could be wrong. You can cuss on this one too, sis. I'm putting that one out there.
okay, thank you. And so, this one is called Prolific Pastor Pimp. And this is one of my
All right.
real
I'm on mute.
poems. Okay. Educator, they called him because he taught hope, touched souls, spreader of the word, hood teacher, but yet Sunday morning preacher, pastor because he knew his word, cover to cover he reads, using scripture for his own good, prolific. Words bountiful, trying to speak peace. Even bad men called you deacon. You stole my voice. How am I going to speak again? Prolific, pastor, pimp, uncle, father, man of the cloth. How many souls did you save? But how many little girls' lives did you forever change? Innocence killer, soul conversion, extreme perversion. How could you cry with me? Pray for me. Tell me you're sorry, but continue to rape me. Pimping during the week, pastor on the weekends. Don't sit with your legs open. Don't wear your skirt that's short. Do you see your shirt? Your breasts are out. Even before my body developed, you you are the niece of a pastor, so act like it. Okay, Mr. Prolific, pastor, pimp. I was memorizing the book Gods, remembering your footsteps to my room, but reading the Bible. You were quoting scriptures, but also quoting porn, making porn. On Monday, I was your whore. Tuesday, bitch. Wednesday, unworthy. Thursday, slut. Friday, hoe. Saturday, trifling. But yet Sunday, you were holy. How are you saving souls, but yet killing mine? Pastor, no wonder I lost my faith. Poured my salvation down the drain. Gave up trusting in God. This time you broke me. I can't beat the odds. Prolific, teaching the word, called you raw preacher. You hid what you did undercover, had to stay quiet. Sacrifice. You tried to kill me when I cried. Pimpin' pastor, man of God, devil's advocate, sin riddled, tired of your secrets, sick of begging and pleading, laid hands on me, believing in my miracles, but adding to my pain. Why do I gotta beg and plead and scream? Please get off of me. I did not ask for incest. You do not know what's best. Sick of the abuse and neglect. How much do I have to go through? Warning, prolific pastors pimp too.
Miss Kim not here to do it, so I'm gonna do it for her.
Okay, yes.
Girl, I'm trying to. I'm sitting here like, nope, 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 nope.
Right.
Uh-uh.
Not
Mm-mm.
gonna do it.
That
Thank
was
you.
beautiful. I mean, honestly, it's because you're talking about my daddy. He did that to my mama. That's how I was
Mm.
created. And it's not your fault. I mean, it's just people have no idea how many they go to the church, and I'm not knocking the church because there are a
Right.
lot of good leaders in the church, but there are corrupt people in every organization in the world. And unfortunately, the church is one of them.
Right.
And this isn't the first time I've heard. My daddy wasn't the first time I've heard. You know what happened to you wasn't the first time I've heard. It's horrible. This is where you go to find love, to look for God, to look for love, and someone is there exploiting that. And it isn't always the pastor. It could be the deacons. It could be the mothers of the church. It's just somebody in a position of power taking advantage of somebody who's looking for love. And that's what I feel when I hear this story and I see my mom's
Aw.
face because she was the same little girl
Right.
you was. She really was. I can't wait till she's strong enough to tell her story, but she's not there yet. So I'm gonna be
That's
calling
fine.
you.
We didn't tell them for it because the one thing they can't take that they try to is our voice, and our voice will not be silenced anymore.
Nope.
So
No, we're not. We're
we
not
not
scared of
scared of
y'all.
y'all.
I'm not
We
scared of
not
y'all.
scared of y'all. Not no more.
Mm-mm. No. Oh, so lady poet, I want to thank you so much. I done got goosebumps. I'm sitting here trying not to cry. I didn't expect it to be like this because we talk every day. I thought it was just gonna be our normal conversation,
That's
but
okay. When I get off of
you
here, I'm
touched
gonna
my
cry
heart.
for a
You
few
touched
minutes, so it's okay.
It's okay. It's okay. We're gonna be on our little group chat talking with each other, and it's gonna be like, ah! I'm so proud of you.
I'm
I'm
proud of
so
you and
proud of you.
everything you accomplish.
So proud of you. Thank you. We
We
got
got
more to come. We
yeah.
got more to come. So I'm gonna put you either backstage. You can stay on
Mhm.
while I wrap up the show,
Mhm.
and we can just give me 1 second. I get myself together. You done got me all emotional, lady poet. Oh, you guys. Didn't I tell y'all? Didn't I tell y'all she ain't no joke? Uh, she's a very extraordinary woman, and I'm so blessed to have her in my life. That was such an incredible, powerful conversation, and I want to take a moment to thank her so much. Thank you, Lady Poet, for sharing your story with us because that takes courage. It takes courage. To survive is one thing, but to stand on your truth and speak it to the world, that is something that, like you said, they cannot take from us so that others can find their way. That's a whole nother level of strength. And I'm thankful for coming to my show. Um, Maybe you're still in the place of fear. Maybe you're trapped or wondering if healing is even possible. Let me tell you this. If you are, I'm so sorry. I live in Costa Rica, y'all. They good for motorcycles. But if you are still feeling this way, you are not what happened to you. You are not broken. You are not broken beyond repair. And no matter how many times you have been knocked down, you still have the power to rise. So this is what I do. This is my mission, my purpose. It is to give to the survivors a space to be seen, a space to be heard, a space to be reminded of their strength because everything I have created, this podcast, my coaching, my events, my book, it's all about making sure that no one who has suffered will continue to suffer in silence. Healing is a journey, but it's not something that you have to do alone. We are here to do it together. I found my circle of sisters. You can join us. We're not a limited bunch. We're not saying, hey, you can't come in. If you need to reach out to one of us, we will all come in and we'll circle around you and we'll try to be as strong as we can for you until you can be strong for yourself. And I love that about this group. These women are beautiful women. They are helping me with my upcoming events. If today's conversation really resonated with you and you're looking for a place to grow and heal, I want to invite you to come to my event. Fearless and Flourishing is next Saturday and Sunday, March 8th and 9th, 2025. You'll see Lady Poet there, Miss Kim, Miss Lucy, Miss Lena, all of my little sisters not my little sisters, all of my sisters that I have made in this little circle that we've started, and I hope it grows. This event is about celebrating women's resilience, breaking free from fear, and stepping into your power with your story. It's a space of empowerment. It's a space for connection. It's a space for transformation, and you really do not want to miss this. And if you're ready to take it even to a next level, I'm going to be hosting a retreat here in Costa Rica, Roots of Resilience, a journey to empowerment retreat, which I'm inviting those ladies to come here and speak as well. We've already been talking about it, you guys. So this is going to happen. It's designed for those who are ready to reclaim their power in a supportive, immersive environment. If that sounds like something you need, I encourage you to learn more and join us. So before we close out, I know we talked about some things that may have been triggering, and I want to make sure that anybody who listens to my show has access to real support. If you or someone you know is experiencing domestic violence or human trafficking, please reach out to organizations that can help you. This week, I have a few numbers to give you. The first is the National Domestic Violence Hotline, 1-800-799-SAFE, 1-800-799-7233, or visit thehotline.org, www.thehotline.org. The next is National Human Trafficking Hotline. It's 1-888-373-HELP. That's 1-888-373-7888, or text HELP to 233-733. And the last I want to share with you is RAINN, RAINN, Rape Against and Incest National Network. Rape, Abuse, and Incest National Network. It's 1-800-656-HOPE, 1-800-656-4673, or visit www.rainn.org. You are never alone, and there is hope out there for all of you. So my final words of encouragement to anyone who has ever felt powerless, let me remind you that you are not your past. Your past does not define you. Your pain is not your identity, and you are more than what you've been through. You are a survivor. You are a thriver. You are a warrior, and you have to keep stepping into your purpose. You have the right to step into a life that is filled with peace and joy. So keep fighting for yourself. Keep choosing yourself. And I'll leave you with this last quote by Maya Angelou. Rest in peace, Queen. You may not control all of the events that has happened to you, but you can decide not to be reduced by them. I love that woman. Thank you so much for being here and showing up for yourself and for allowing me to walk this journey with you. If you have found today's episode valuable, share it with someone who needs to hear it. And don't forget, your voice, your story, and your healing matters. Until next time, keep rising, keep thriving, and keep believing in yourself. You are stronger than you know.
It's been dark way too long in this place. That bright smile long gone been replaced. From ear to ear I see that fear in your face. Tell me when the last time you felt safe, cause there's some evil people in the streets. Evil at your front door, creeping while you sleep. It's time to raise up, show that evil we ain't weak. We don't turn the other cheek, I can show you how to be strong. Come on, follow me. Heard you looking for a hero. Well, look up. No more running from the bad guy, I'ma stare him in the eye like, what's up? I know the journey got hard for a minute, but I ain't giving this up. Yeah, I got the heart of a champion. If I get knocked down, I get back up. We go